but we're looking at the Middle East situation, and probably most of you aren't even aware of it, getting more and more dangerous by the minute. Supposedly, the Syrian government shot down a Russian transport plane, but they were shooting at an American or an Israeli plane. Nobody really knows what the story is here, but is it a reason to be concerned about what's happening there, Gerald?
Yes, it is. It's very much to be concerned about because, the United States supporting the terrorists, ISIS's over in Syria, who they call the moderate rebels, but that data shows that most of them aren't, particularly in Idlib, where they are now. It's confirmed that they're the radical element of ISIS. That's the last stronghold in Syria. So Obama, when Russia got involved several years ago, when they were invited in by the Assad government, Obama said that they would be stuck in a quagmire. I guess he was wrong again, because it looks like victory is at hand. Israel is very much against this. So is the United States and Saudi Arabia. And the United States, Saudi Arabia, and the coalition of the killing were behind the initial overthrow of Assad. So it was also reported last week by the Israeli press and confirmed by their government, the military aspect, that they've fired in some 800 missiles into Syria over the past few years. So, this is an escalation of tensions, and they're saying that the Russian plane that was shot down, that the Syrians were firing at missiles coming in, either coming from, the Americans denied it, but a French ship or Israeli F-16s. So, and now Russia's saying that they're going to retaliate if this continues. So the escalation of war in the Middle East is ramping up, particularly as the United States, Israel, and the Saudi coalition strike up more and more rhetoric against Iran. And now with Trump's sanctions on Iran and the oil sanctions to go into effect in November, this is going to have not only geopolitical implications, but serious economic ones as well. So let me explain.
Yeah.
It's all tied together. That's our system, by the way, of trend forecasting. We call it globalnomic, making connections between different fields. As we speak, Brent crude is approaching $80 a barrel. The price at the pump in the United States for the average family, where it is now, half of their tax cuts that they got from the Trump tax cuts have gone to increased energy costs. Now let's go globally. India, their rupee is at an all-time low against the dollar. And so too are a lot of emerging market currencies, either at all-time lows, yearly lows, and getting lower. What's oil priced down? Dollars, petrodollars. That means that India, who imports 80% of their energy, a huge consumer society, a huge population, 1.3 billion people, now they have to pay more for oil and energy as their currency declines because U.S. interest rates are going up. Now let's fast forward to November. We are forecasting, Kerry, if oil prices hit $100 a barrel, you are going to see a global equity market and economic collapse. So let's go back to Syria. Let's go back. They also, Israel, earlier this week, attacked an Iranian outpost near the Damascus airport, and they're going after Iran. And again, it's not what you like, what you want, what you wish for, whose side you're on. We don't take any of that. We just look at the facts. And the facts are that if oil prices spike because of an escalation of tensions in the Middle East, kiss the economy and equity markets goodbye. And that means a severe recession, real estate prices will collapse, retail sector will go down with it, and we'll see high levels of unemployment and deep recession.
So right now we're seeing the Fed increasing rates. Are they going to have to immediately reverse course if this thing blows up?
Yep. And they may do that before. They're going to raise them again next week, most likely. And one more time in December is in the cards. About 80% is the guess on the futures market. You go back to just several months ago, like March, and it was only about 20% chance they would raise them, 30% chance. And then they're looking for 3 more rate hikes in 2019. Remember, every time the Fed raises rates, all these emerging market currencies go down.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to pay, they have some $63 trillion worth of debt.
Right.
A lot of it is dollar-based. So I made the point of how they got to pay more for oil because oil's dollar-based. Well, they have all this debt dollar-based. Their currencies are declining. That means they have to pay more of their declining currencies to pay off their debt.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the major concern.
Right. So when we look at what's happening around the world, like a lot of emerging market currencies have taken major hits. So probably more major hits are on the way. Look at Iran. You know, they've got hyperinflation. Their economy is in shambles. Can they keep going on the way they're going, or is there going to be a day of reckoning? Same with Venezuela. I mean, you see Maduro, he's having a big steak pig out while the population is literally starving to death all around him. How long do these countries keep going?
Again, keep adding them up. Take a trip down to Argentina. Oh, how they love that pro-businessman Macri when he went in. And what do they have now? The peso's down 50% against the dollar this year.
Mm-hmm.
How about interest rates at what, 65%? I mean, you can't make this. This is the highest number ever, you know, on record, one of the highest on record. It's the highest on record right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and then take a trip over to Turkey. You know, they just had to raise interest rates too. You know, they're looking at inflation, yearly inflation of over 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Russian ruble's down. They were in a recession in South Africa, and the South African rand is way down. So it's around the world. And look at China. China's numbers coming in for investment, particularly in infrastructure investment, general investment, is at the lowest level since they started recording the numbers in 1992. So it's not only these governments of Maduro or Khamenei of Iran or Rouhani, whoever's running the show, it's all over. So and that's what we're saying, that we're at a critical point here. You cannot take an oil shock. And you go back to Venezuela. I mean, even, you know, with oil prices up, their economy is way down because so too is production. And it's a mess. It's a total mess. Definitely
a mess, for sure. So, and nobody is looking for solutions either. What's the solution? War?
No, there's no solution. You know, the solutions are, you know, they're domestic problems. You know, I tell people, you want to solve the problems of other countries? Take a look at your family. Is everything perfect in your family?
Yeah.
You know, and then what you do is multiply that by, you know, 7.6 billion. And that's what you got out there. So it's, you know, it's what's going on. As I say, when people say, look how messed up the world is, they stick with your family. What are you talking about? You know
So we straighten it out by straightening out our families? Is that how this works?
Straighten it out yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do now, though? You say things are deteriorating rapidly. How do you protect yourself?
Well, you know, my GCs, GERALD CELENTE's, GC's 3 Gs, right. Guns, gold, and a getaway plan.
I thought there were 4 Gs. God, does a God figure in there anywhere?
No, it doesn't. Depends on which one you believe in.
Yeah.
You know? Mine's the real one, though. I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, we know that. You
don't believe in the real one. Only I do.
It's been proven.
God came to me and said to me, you know, I grew up Catholic, you know. Mm-hmm. And you know, the Catholic Church, they don't allow you know, gay marriages. What a joke, man. Look what's going on with all these priests.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm surprised that's not the only marriage. I figured it out. The only reason why in the Catholic Church they say you can't have sex before you get married, the priest didn't want any competition.
Yeah.
You know, what a joke this thing is. It's a scandal.
Yes.
You know, so
sure.
I mean, I don't want to hear about anybody's religion. Keep it, you know, anybody believe in what you want to believe in. It's like telling me about which political party you believe in. I get a kick out of all these. You know, I'm 15 minutes away from Woodstock, New York. I'm here in Colonial Kingston,
Right.
and all these liberals, these quiche-eating grins and their balsamic smiles. They all hate Trump. I hate that guy. I hate everybody that hates him. The people that like him they're out of their mind. Oh yeah, but you like Obama, don't you? Don't you say anything bad about Obama?
Yeah.
Oh, you like, quote, I'm really good at killing people. 4,000 dead with drone strikes, quoted in the book Double Down. No, I know what you love about Obama. You love how he destroyed Libya.
Yeah.
Along with, quote, if only women were in charge, Hillary Clinton, Samantha Power, and Susan Rice. No, I know you love Obama because Obama got into office and said, folks, by next year, his first day in office, we're going to close Guantanamo. Oh, but he couldn't do that. Oh, no, but he could launch the Libyan war. He could do a troop surge in Afghanistan at 33,000 troops. Didn't convict one criminal for the banksters and said he was. Oh, and how about Syria? Isn't it beautiful over there? You can thank Obama. Don't say anything bad about Obama. Don't say anything bad about Obama. What a bunch of low-life, little gutless, courageless liberals are. And how they love John Insane McCain, the warmonger in chief.
Yeah, he was the worst. Not to talk ill of the dead.
Dead or alive. You call them out when they...
Exactly.
I called McCain a phony, that he wasn't a war hero years before Trump did it.
Yeah. Yeah, and all the damage this guy did. And he was out there.
A war he didn't love.
Yeah, he never met a military endeavor, regardless how absurd or counterproductive it might be, that he didn't think was a good idea to get into. And all because he had experience getting captured as a POW and having 3 plane crashes. Maybe he blew up the Forrestal, and maybe he didn't. We'll never know. But he didn't exactly have an illustrious record, put it that way.
No, and they celebrate him as a hero. How about the other 2,000 or so POWs? And oh, by the way, bombing people in an illegal war, that a nation that did nothing to us, and based on lies. I wrote about it in my book, Trends 2000, 1997, about how the Gulf of Tonkin incident never happened, and that other SOB, may he rot in hell, McNamara lied us into the war, and he knew it.
Yeah, and LBJ. Let's not forget LBJ.
LB Jerkoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pure evil. So,
so, you know, so that would be like me asking you, suppose a German soldier in the Third Reich who murdered people, a pilot that dropped bombs throughout Europe and Russia, where they killed, 20 million Russians? And destroyed Europe, much of Europe. And that German soldier, the Third Reich, gets captured, and he's a POW. Does that make him a hero?
Yeah. Good analogy. I like that. So looking ahead, so we got our 3Gs and maybe our 4G. Hey, what about 5G cell service? Is that something we need to be concerned about here?
Boy,
Gerald?
You're not kidding.
That sounds really like where it's going to fry everybody's brain.
Yep, they're already fried already.
Yeah, like they needed anything more.
No, I don't carry a cell phone. I did research on this going back to the mid-'90s when I did work for the Cellular Telecommunications Association. And I was reading about the dangers of cell phones back then, and we've been writing about it in the Trends Journal issue after issue. The reports coming out how deadly these things are, so I don't even carry one. But yes, the 5Gs are going to be more deadly as you have that, radioactive waves shooting into your home on a neighborhood near you. as they put up these towers right across from your house.
Yeah. So, probably this crop of cell phones not as bad as the original ones. They had much more powerful transmitters then.
Yep.
And but I don't see like using a Bluetooth earpiece as being like a solution for this. Use the speaker and hold it away from you. Probably makes more sense than anything else. But
but even carrying it,
Yeah. Well, the Wi-Fi, we're being bombarded with radio waves more and more. It's gotten more and more intense.
Yep.
Really,
I don't have Wi-Fi in my offices.
No Wi-Fi?
Nope.
But is the signal coming in from any neighbors? That's the thing.
Well,
you're getting it anyway.
Of course, but I'm just saying I don't have it where we are.
Right. Yeah. Well, hey, my computer here is directly wired into a router into the internet.
Yep,
And,
that's what I have as well.
Probably better. So 5G. Like, how do we get accurate information on its alleged hazards? Can we find someplace that's really telling the truth about it, that doesn't have an agenda, and either pro or con, but at least get the accurate info on it?
No, because what they're doing is they're censoring everybody. Look what they've done to Alex Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that video that came out of the Google elites crying when they found out that Hitler lost.
Yeah, you needed to pass out the Xanax and coffee for those people, and they were despondent. They were totally despondent over her loss, and I don't quite get it. I would never be that involved in an election where I would be depressed, maybe for 15 minutes, and then realizing life is going to go on regardless. But what is going on in these people's minds, Gerald, that they could act like this? Like the pictures at Hillary headquarters on election eve, all of the reporters, you just go into YouTube and Google Trump won, and you see dozens and dozens of reporters who are really just apoplectic and are losing it on air. And I mean, for me and for you, it was no surprise. We were calling this a long time before.
Yep.
I knew it in July of 2015 that he was going to win. But then when he actually does, and then you wonder, is it really a battle of the votes, or is it a battle of the vote fixers? How do you win an election? Through voting or through vote fixing? That's what I want to understand. And there's a lot of opinions on that, but I don't think you can win an election without the vote fixers now.
Well, no, you're right. And it's becoming more and more dominant by again, you said, how do you find out true information? They're blocking it. And you're not allowed to pass it on either. They'll block that. So it's fascism. It's the merger of state and corporate powers. Free speech is dead. So too are many of our other constitutional rights. And those aren't reporters, by the way.
Yeah.
You got the word wrong.
Oops.
They're prostitutes.
Yeah, prostitutes.
Yeah, they get paid to put out by their corporate Johns and their Washington whoremasters.
Yeah. Well, there's very little real reporting going on. Just you go back, like Jack Anderson seemed to be a real reporter. Maybe he got manipulated on occasion. I don't doubt that, but he seemed to actually have a desire to report real news and dig it up. But nowadays, there's very few people. There's a few here and there, but then, they get harassed and kicked off their station, and they wind up writing like Cheryl Atkinson for an obscure website someplace, right?
Yep. Look at me. I mean, I used to be on everybody.
I know.
They don't want me on anymore. I used to be on Oprah, the Today Show, Good Morning America. I've been on everybody.
God, yeah.
Riley.
Always saw you. You were always on. Like, turn on the TV, and there's Gerald Celente, and now there's an embargo against you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to hear other than what they're selling.
Yeah.
So they're not giving news or information. They're giving opinions. And and their belief systems. So again, when you saw about when McCain died, you have these great man, a hero.
Oh,
You're not supposed to say that as
God.
a journalist. You had with Dana Bush when it started raining during his memorial service. She said the angels are crying. And grow up. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
Oh my God. Yeah, Gerald,
That's a quote.
it's like
The angels are crying.
this is madness, total freaking madness. And,
And that's why shows like yours are important for people to go to, where you're getting information from others that just want the information. Again, like I said to you, I don't care, if you're pro this or pro that. That's not money in my business. I don't care what you believe in, what you think. Here are the facts.
yeah,
And if you put these facts together and add them up, this is how we see them playing out.
exactly.
And that's our business. We as the facts are accurate as they can be, they're distorted as well many times, but not all the time.
Sure.
So that's why it's very important that, people tune into you and others and get information coming from other people that just want the truth out there and are not selling agendas.
Hey, so important. Could not agree with you more, Gerald. Hey, so trendsjournal.com. Tell us how we get our free trial subscription.
Well, you could go, it's not free trial subscription, but you get a money-back guarantee.
That's even better.
The Trends Journal used to be a quarterly. Now it's a monthly, and the new one will be out in just a few days. And it's a great one. Another, I would say, one that you'll have fine information you won't read anywhere else. Like, for example, we've been talking about driverless cars, what a fraud the whole thing is.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, the Wall Street Journal came out with a big story. Now, a year later, this was one of our
Just
top
figured
trends.
it out.
Yeah. And anyway, so it's history before it happens. Just go to trendsresearch.com or trendsjournal.com. And it's a money-back guarantee. And besides the Trends Journal, trend alerts each week, and Trends in the News broadcasts every weekday night.
All right. We love it. Always great having you on, Gerald.